come now to the section of our meeting which we have called oral reports on the pandemic. We are recording the service, and now is the opportunity, as I mentioned at service the past couple of weeks, it's important that we have the opportunity to record what this has been like for our parish, how it's influenced the life of the congregation, what the challenges, what the growth has been. It's important for it to not only be clergy voices or wardens' voices who record that for the people. So let us take no more than half an hour now. And if there is anyone, I'd like to say, I'm actually going to run a timer. And just so we say that, why don't we just take maximum of 5 minutes per person, and a maximum of 30 minutes in total. If you would like to contribute an oral report from any perspective within the church, now is your opportunity. You could, thank you, Catherine Ozadets. Your timer has started, away you go. And you're muted right now, Catherine.
I actually want to give thanks that during the pandemic that we have had this opportunity to Zoom. I think this experience has been transformational for our parish. We talked about the struggles that we have had in the past of perhaps there being certain circles within the parish that were dominant or whatever you want to call them. But I think that being confined to our own little boxes here has been a great equalizer within the parish. And I think it's caused us to view each other, it's just one person in a box to another. And I think it's just been, for me, I'll never see our parish in the same way again. So I give great thanks for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sandra, Dame, go ahead.
Well, I'll just piggyback on what Kathy said, because I absolutely agree with that. And I feel like I'm connected to the parish in a completely different way than I ever was before. I know people more and they know me more, and I feel like I belong. So this is awesome. And I also want to thank everybody who's reached out. This has been an incredibly challenging year for me personally, with losses and trying to take care of my dad through all the craziness. And I just want to thank everybody for all the ways that they've reached out and just helped us weather these storms and have remained in connection with my dad, which has been really, really important. So thanks everybody for that.
Virtual hug.
Thank you. Thanks, Sandra. Okay, Susan Redpath.
Yeah, I've had some, I'm one of the ones that really like the hugs and to give hugs. So I really miss that and everything, but I do appreciate seeing everyone on Sundays and at different, getting calls and the rest of that. The calls have been very good. Also, one of the things that I've also really appreciated was when you guys did the communion kits. I really believe that really helped. It really did, to bring that sense of communion back that I was really missing. So I would like actually for you guys to think about maybe doing something like that for Easter, because it meant a lot.
So thanks, Susan. Those plans are already well in hand. So you want to mark Palm Sunday as your day when you're going to come pick up your Easter communion and your palm crosses. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Cindy.
sort of a silly, funny comment. I can remember at one point we talked about how people should move around within the church and sit in different pews. On Zoom, I never know who's going to be on the left or right side of me in my little box, and where my little box is going to turn up.
Thanks, Cindy. That's a good point. It's like seeing yourself in fellowship with people in different ways each week, isn't it? Thank you. Okay, I can see that a few people are putting their physical hands up. If you're able to use the raise hand feature on Zoom, that will be a bit helpful for us. Who's next? Rhonda, go ahead.
It's just, I'm not able to get to church every Sunday due to my situations at home. On Zoom through this, like, I'm glad we're not streaming because it's not a personal contact. This is a personal contact. I feel like I'm having coffee with everybody in their own home. I'm in my own pew and I can choose my pew by jumping around and to whatever room I decide to be in. And it's a blessing for me that I can actually do this and still deal with what I deal with at home and partake. And I just think it's amazing. I thank you. And whoever came up with the idea to do the Zoom, thank you. When we get moved over in September, even though we can't go, I'm looking for the Zoom anyway, for maybe with inside the parish at least once. But thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Rhonda. And that is part of our thinking, that there are advantages here that won't go away just if the pandemic goes away. So yeah, okay. Thank you. Marna, go ahead.
I, like Susan, also miss the hugs and seeing people face to face, and but I love Zoom, and anybody who knows me well knows how much I kind of hate modern technology, but I love Zoom. It has been such a blessing. You know, like, I don't live as close to the church as I used to, so I love not having to look at that weather and the road report every Sunday morning to see how long it's going to take me to get there and how stressed I'm going to be to get there. So I love this. And one of the things that came to me after the reading your report, Reverend Clara, is I'm thinking once we're in our new space, we probably are going to be able to have more than one service. So I'm thinking one can be just a totally Zoom service for those that cannot make that drive over to church.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Marna. Okay, Joan, go ahead.
Hi there. I just wanted to say, ditto everything that's been said previous. Having begun work this year, sort of more behind the scenes, I just wanted to express, the thanks to this people of St. George's, because, your clergy too have gone through a lot. I know it's been a tough year for Clara and Michael. And, and we too have personal issues that we deal with as well. And to be part of this community that so lovingly, and as Clara said this morning, willingly moves forward to do what needs to be done to keep us together. It's as important, we can tell, to each and every one here as it is to us, to keep our community going forward. And it's just been amazing. Being able to come together in person rather than watching a stream service is huge. And I know that this past week I've had kind of a week, and then whenever Sunday morning comes around, it's just wonderful to feel that connection again, and to feel reinvigorated within community and in our faith. And I just wanted to say that yes, Clara, getting us going on Zoom so quickly in the beginning was key, was paramount in us continuing on this path. So thank you for that. And we are learning a lot from this, and we'll learn how we can incorporate to continue to keep us connected and together throughout the coming months. So thank you, everybody, for your support as well.
Thanks very much, Joan. Helen.
I just want to thank everybody again, and I think I'm giving a big thank you to Joan because I have really enjoyed the morning prayers on Tuesdays and Fridays. I haven't managed to go to any in the evening, but I do enjoy starting my day off with the morning prayer, which again has been a part of the Zoom experience. I don't think I would be happy 3 times a week to get up, get dressed and head out in the car, especially in winter, for the 20 to 25-minute service. But doing it online, it's just become part of the routine now. The other little thing I wanted to mention, this is a funny one, is that being fairly new to the parish, I have finally learned everybody's name. So thank you.
Thanks, Helen. Yeah, unintended good consequences of Zoom. Good. Okay, Barb Romaine.
I just wanted to say that I think sometimes being in my own little box at home, I'm almost feel freer to express what I want to say and what I'm asking for. And what I'm relating to is when my son suffered that accident that was so terrifying for me. I came to church that Sunday and I related that to everybody at the church. Had I been in the church physically, I know I wouldn't have stood up and said all of that. I would have shared with a few close friends what had happened. But I think what also really spoke to me was the fact that I felt like I really felt God's healing power on chat through everybody. And I really felt that connection with St. George's. I don't think I've ever felt that connection anytime I've prayed with someone for something as I did that particular time. And I really felt that God was really working through me because of everyone in St. George's that was praying for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And that was all on Zoom, wasn't it, Barb?
Yes, it was all on Zoom, yes.
Thank you. Adenikans.
I am really thankful, especially for our daughter Jemima, because the main family she knows is St. George's family. So it was huge for us that she could continue to have that interaction. And it's amazing what she learned during that time. The children's time was just amazing. And we're so grateful for what that has done to her, because the continuation of all she's known in her life. So the pandemic did not take that away from her. So we're very thankful. I am very thankful for that. The next Thanksgiving regarding to the church is that for the first time since we started attending St. George's, Shola is on time for church. So that is a big thing. I mean, I don't have to fight. So, I mean, no anxiety. It's been a huge thing for us. And the last part for me is my family, who has heard so much about our St. George's family, even without the contact, as is now my older sister is back in Nigeria, and she is still explaining to everybody there what the people have witnessed physically. She's, I mean, before anybody wakes on Sunday morning, she's there preparing for church, and she's talking, I mean, about our church family as if she has met everybody physically. So it's really huge for us. On times when she's even with her daughter, who is in a cohort, she still attends our church. She wasn't attending any church in Nigeria or our daughter's church or anybody's church. So we're very grateful. Thank you all, our family. I mean, this means a lot to us.
Thanks very much, Rebecca. That's great news. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, Kristen, go ahead.
I just wanted to piggyback on what Rebecca said about the children. I have the age group that gets challenging to come to church. And with Zoom, I can even if they're not in the visual, they're around, and there's not the get up, get dressed, hurry up, let's go. And I can convince them still to come. And with no activities, there's no other activities to interrupt either. And I just want to thank St. George's, all the people, because Sunday school and youth has been a bit of a challenge with Zoom. Whether it be grandchildren that are not with their grandparents that were attending, or new people that aren't attending now, or all the different challenges. But St. George's staff and other parishioners kept going with the children have to be involved, the youth have to be involved. What can we do to keep them involved? If you haven't read the Youth and Children Report, I encourage you to do so, because it's been an interesting year, but just the fact that it's important to have the youth and children involved is huge, whatever that may look like. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks very much, Kristen. Yeah, thank you. Linda Teese, go ahead.
I just wanted to say COVID-19 really is the great equalizer. And it's interesting because I don't have a home computer, and at no point did I feel like I was dropped, from St. George's site. And again, thanks to Reverend Clara, as people have said, for getting on Zoom so quick. And Reverend Clara was great getting myself and other people who were just going to phone in to understand what it was going to be like. And it's very cool that you can still feel that connected. You do need a vivid imagination, which I'm fortunate that I have. And even though you can't see, let's say, for example, the carols and lessons, the pageant that went with that, I heard there was some pretty cool stuff going on, but it still made me smile because I was still part of it. I was able to hear it. You guys couldn't see what I was wearing, but it was still fun. And so a sort of a strange story, a friend of mine goes to Renfrew United Church, which of course is totally shut down, and there's no Zoom services. They have a recorded service that a minister does, and then they put it on Facebook or wherever it goes. And I was telling him in a backyard visit in sort of late summer that, our services at St. George's are on Zoom. And even though I don't have a computer, I'm in on everything, sipping my wine here and eating a little cracker. It's a wafer, really, but it looks like a cracker. And then I said, and not only that, but the minister doesn't even live in Calgary. And this is the time when Reverend Clara and Michael moved to Vancouver to be with Paige for those, whatever it was, 2 months or so. And he's like, what? How could you have church? Your minister doesn't even live in Calgary. So that just is a nod to the power of technology. And good for St. George's for holding everybody together. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Linda.
I just want to add on to Linda T's message there about not having a computer. Just want to remind you that the library is now lending laptops too, and it has got Zoom installed on it. So you can borrow it through the HOLD system for 8 weeks, and you can always borrow again. So if you want a computer with Zoom, you can borrow one from the library.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Constance. Okay, Elizabeth Harris, I know you had your hand up earlier on. Did you want to?
Yes, thank you. Again, I want to say again, thank you so much for organizing Zoom. It has been a great blessing, not just for me, but my family. I think Edison will actually never know that St. George's is the name of our church. He calls it Zoom Church. And so, which is fine. He'll figure it out eventually. I've really been thankful for the opportunity for our weekly services that Joan has run most of the time, and now Barb is assisting in that too. It's been lovely to be fairly routine and hitting morning and evening prayer on Tuesdays and Fridays. We've been able to continue working on the fabric art project, some of us bits and pieces. And so that's been really lovely, even though we can't do it together. The communion kit that you put together before Christmas with Joan has been a great blessing. And I'm still making my way through it, small bits every week, which is exciting. I have to make it all the way to Palm Sunday. No, that's not going to happen. But I'm very thankful to hear we have another opportunity. That was a great gift. I miss doing music so much, but I'm very, very thankful for the musicians that have worked with the technology, and that Karen and Barbara and everyone else sort of puts it all in space for us to hear. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm also very thankful that we've been able to do continuation of studies through book study we did with Joan and the Lenten study, which is upcoming. I just love those opportunities. And every time we meet together on a Sunday or any other opportunity on Zoom really does feel like we are cohesive and collected and joined together. And I really need that. And I miss hugging. I fear for the first time we're all together, there's going to be, I'm going to have to wear a bib because there will be so many tears. I will be soaked otherwise. And they will be awkward hugs, I'm quite sure. Just hanging on because we miss everyone so much. But thank you for this opportunity always.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have dreams about the pandemic ending and we'll all just get together and the passing of the peace will take like 45 minutes or an hour and we'll just sort of like cling on to each other. So still in our future. Friends, are there others who would like to speak this morning? If you're waving at me, you can just go ahead and unmute. All right.
Well, I'll just say thank you for everything everybody has said. I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to break down here, but it was such a joy to come back to St. George's and walk into this and everything that I've gotten. And I just thank everybody, Reverend Clara, Reverend Joan, the Bishop, you've all been wonderful. And everybody in the congregation has been so wonderful. And bless you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Meg. Okay. Any last, we have time for just one more speaker. Does anyone want to put the finishing touch on? Okay, Anne, go ahead. You're our last speaker.
Thank you. I again would like to say thank you for Zoom. It's been a wonderful thing for myself, and I want to say for Patricia, I can't believe how I used to have to argue with her in the morning on Sunday. Get dressed, hurry up, we have to get to the car, we have to get to church. This is wonderful. She's here on time. I cannot believe it, and I thank you so much. Furthermore, she loves to sit here and talk to so many of you. And she's always saying, my friends at St. George's, but she never said that before because she didn't even have names. So for a disabled person, it has been wonderful, and I know it will continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much, friends, for everybody who has spoken. Lest we walk away from this feeling that, closing the church was the worst thing that ever could have happened. Turns out not so much. So thank you for contributing your voices and for being part of our little oral history project today on what it has actually been like during this historic time. Thank you.